in order to apply for it. I mean, all the great things about the program. And at the end, if you have any questions, you will be able to ask them. But do not forget about the chat. I think it's also a very good opportunity for you, to not to forget about your questions, and also maybe give, Jamie some extra time to think about how to answer them, so that we'll have a collection by the end of the session. And I think that at this point I will be giving the floor to Jamie and to his presentation about the wonderful program we're running together.
Great. Thank you so much. So, but you know what? I've never had a welcome like that before, so I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. First of all, before I start to share my screen with the presentation, that I've got my wonderful colleague Amy, who's joining us. She's not feeling 100% today. She's not actually coming to the office, so really appreciate Amy making the effort to join the presentation today. So Amy's going to be supporting me in terms of the questions. So if any students during the presentation, if you have any questions, please type them up into the chat room, and my colleague Amy will try and answer them, and we'll probably refer back to them at the end of the presentation as well to have a recap. So Amy probably won't turn her camera on because she's not feeling 100%, but she's very much there in the background and she will be supporting me today. So thank you ever so much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hopefully share my screen and we should be able to go. Can you all see the first slide? If you can just, yeah, brilliant. Thank you ever so much. So, just to confirm again, so I'm Jamie Vigad and my colleague Amy Parkinson is joining us today. So between us, we both work at Lancaster University. We're specifically in our management school. And our job is to help and support students in the exchange programs that we operate, and also the double degree programs inbound and outbound. What that means in simple terms is, we're going to be helping people or students potentially like yourselves looking at Lancaster as an option for you. One of the things that I really enjoy about my job is I really enjoy helping people out, and so does my colleague Amy. So, hopefully taking that forward, you'll kind of get the opportunity to get to know me a little bit over the next few minutes. I think what I'm trying to say is there is no such thing like a silly question. So please don't feel that, oh, if I ask Jamie or if I ask Amy this, will they think I'm silly? Not at all. You're looking to probably spend some time overseas with another university. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of research, you've got certain questions you want to ask. So this is all part and parcel of that process. And we'd love everybody here today to come to Lancaster, but I think realistically, I understand Lancaster University may not be for everybody as an option. And that's what it is. It's an option that you may wish to consider. So we'll leave our email address at the end of the presentation. We'll be sharing the presentation. Send us an email, visit our website, and that will answer hopefully some of your questions. Like I said, no such thing like a silly question. So starting off with that in mind, one of the first things that you're probably asking or you're thinking, where is Lancaster? Well, dare I say, Lancaster doesn't have any good football teams. So not many people have heard of Lancaster as a university, but we are a very good university, which we'll talk through in a moment. But in terms of our location, I live in Manchester, which is about 1 hour away from Lancaster. It takes me about an hour, just over an hour to get to work each day. So most people have heard of Manchester. They've got 2 good football teams, so that's probably a little bit more famous than Lancaster. London is about 2.5 hours by train, and north of the border, we've got Scotland, which is about 2.5 hours away by train again. So we're on the coastal area, in the northwest of England. As our Deputy Vice Chancellor says, we're the gem, we're the hidden gem in the northwest of England, because not many people have heard of us, but once they hear of us and they do a bit more research, they think, wow, okay, this might be something I want to consider. Just gives you an indication. Just got some images there of the surrounding areas. So Lancaster is a city. It's a city within the northwest of England. However, we've got Morecambe Bay, which is the neighbouring town. It's a coastal town. Obviously, it's a seaside resort. So you can go there, and students will tend to go there. It's only about 25 minutes away, not too far from Lancaster. So people will go there when it's a nice hot day and spend time by the seaside. The other thing that we've got on our doorstep, only about half an hour away, we've got the national park known as the Lake District. So, you can see some images there, lots of country walks, hills, picnic areas, day trips. So sometimes students, families, they go there and they'll have a nice day out just to get away from the hustle and bustle of normal everyday life. The embarrassing thing for me is I've been fortunate through my job. I've had the opportunity to visit so many places across the world, but the Lake District is on our doorstep. I've only ever been twice in my life, but each time I've been, I've thoroughly enjoyed it there. So I recommend, if you do consider Lancaster, you have a visit to the Lake District if you have the opportunity. So the city of Lancaster.
Amy, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm afraid that we still see the first slide.
Oh, right. Okay. I've moved on to the third slide. You're not seeing it, no?
No, we still see the first one.
Oh, that's weird. Amy, do you have the presentation that you could share on your screen, maybe? Oh no, you can't, can you? Oh, just bear with me. Let me stop sharing.
Maybe the thing is that we don't see it in the full slide mode. Maybe if you switch it to the full slide mode, it will be moving. There is this little thing underneath, like it looks like a glass of wine to me. And like if you push it, then.
Okay, bear with me. I'm not sure what's happened, but the thing's locked on me again. Let me just see there. Bear with me. No, the system's all crashed for some reason. It won't even let me share screen now. What is it that you can see at the moment? Can you see the presentation?
Right now, no. Maybe
I'll try and
just leave and try and join again. 1 second, I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, apologies for this. It won't even let me leave for some reason.
I'll try and grab it up, Jamie. I'll just try and find it on the folders.
The whole system is locked. I can't do anything on my laptop now.
Maybe if you send us the presentation, I could
share
share it.
The presentation. If not,
if you send it to me,
Amy, just bear with me 1 moment. I'll just be able to get Claire. 1 second. Sorry. Thanks.
Let me try and share my screen.
You should have it on Teams, Amy.
I'm just trying to, I think it's just been a bit slow on Teams today. Let me just try and share my screen.
Oh, brilliant, yes.
Okay.
And then I'll press it. Is that?
Yeah, that looks like full, full slide.
Yeah. Okey-doke.
Great. So yeah, if you can move the slides along, Amy, as we go along,
Don't worry.
does that work for you? So if you can bring it up to, the first one. If you go on to the first one, the map, and we'll start from there. Yeah. Yeah. You just go back 1. Yeah.
There we go.
Brilliant. Yeah. So as you can see from that map, we're in the northwest of England. So it's about 1 hour away from Manchester, about 2.5 hours away from London, and about 2.5 hours away from Scotland, the northwest of England. We've got the coastal district. So if you move on to the next slide, I'll just skip these 2 quite quickly. Great, thank you. So you can see a couple of images there. So Morecambe Bay is the seaside resort, so students, families can go there. But the Lake District, it's on our doorstep, very picturesque, as you can see, very peaceful, very relaxing. So people across the UK and across the world all come to the national park for holidays, for day trips, picnics, etc. And this is on our doorstep. And unfortunately, one of the things that I was saying, I've had the experience, fortunately, through my job to go halfway around the world. This is on our doorstep. I've only ever been twice in my life, but thoroughly enjoyed it both times that I've been. Very relaxing type. Suggest you maybe just Google it, the Lake District, and that'll give you a lot of information. If we can move to the next slide, please, Amy. Great, thank you. So I mentioned Lancaster is a city. It's a small city, and it's not like Birmingham. It's not like Manchester. It's certainly not like London, but it's a small historic city. We can trace our roots back to the 12th century, and the image that you can see there, it's kind of gives you an indication of what the city is like. We've got the cathedral, we've got the town hall, we've got some of the shops there that you can see. But I think the point I'm making is you can see there's a lot of character there. So a lot of traditional old stone buildings. We don't have the high-rise apartments like a major city like Manchester or London will have. But Manchester, like I said, I live there. It's only about 1 hour away. So most students will tend to go there at the weekends. But day to day, you've got a range of shops, restaurants, clubs, bars, etc., all within the city of Lancaster, museums, galleries, etc. as well. It's a safe city. So it's only got a population of about 144,000, of which we've got 2 universities. We've got the Lancaster, we've got the University of Cumbria, so we've got a strong student population as well. So a lot of the shops that I talk about, a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the coffee outlets, etc., they're targeting students. So I think one of the things that I'm really proud to say about Lancaster, it's a very safe environment. There's hardly any crime. There's certainly no racism, and most individuals within Lancaster they either work for the university or they know somebody who works for the university. So it's a very safe environment. We're not out in the middle of anywhere. So like I said, Manchester, it's only 1 hour by train, and we've got a major network link to all the cities within the UK. So you can get from one end of the UK to the other end literally within a few hours. So very good in that respect for the network. If we can move on to the next slide, please. Great, thank you. And here we can just kind of set the scene. So we can see Williamson's Park there. We can see some of the canal networks, some of the eating outlets, and the city at night. And I think again the point I'm trying to make is it's got a lot of character, a lot of culture within Lancaster. And this is something that the students who come to Lancaster, they learn to appreciate, they learn to understand and accept as well. But, like I said, Manchester, literally on our doorstep, that's probably a little bit more like Moscow in that respect, so the high-rise apartments, the large shopping malls, etc. But on a day-to-day, the students who come to Lancaster, the serious students, Monday to Friday, they'll do their work, they'll go into the city of Lancaster, but at the weekend, that's when they probably want to go to Manchester for a night out, for shopping, for eating, whatever they want to do. Okay. Next slide, please, Amy. Okay, so sorry, if you move on to one more, apologies. Yeah. So to give you an indication of the campus, this is like an aerial shot of the campus, and it's broken down. We've got 2 areas within there. So in the top half of the campus image, that's where all the buildings are of the university. So you've got your labs, your workshops, your lecture theatres, the accommodation, offices. Everything is that part of the campus. In the lower part, the lower left, that's the main student accommodation part of the campus. It's all a self-contained campus. Everything is there within inside that. Now I'll probably go for a walk at lunchtime, and I can walk all the way around the campus. It takes me about 25, maybe 30 minutes maximum to walk all the way around. So it's a small self-contained campus, and I'll talk about the facilities in a little while. Looking at the top of the image, that's the city of Lancaster. It's about 20 minutes by bus, something like that. We have regular buses coming on the campus, so I think we have about 6 or 7 buses every hour. So if you miss one, there's a bus literally a few minutes away. And a little bit further away, that's Morecambe, the seaside town that I talked about. And at the top of the picture, you could just about make it out. That's the start of the Lake District National Park that I talked about earlier. So it's you can probably see from that image that there's a lot of countryside, a lot of greenery, a lot of farmland there. Very peaceful, very relaxing. And you know what, like I say, the students that come to Lancaster, the serious students, day to day, they work hard, they study hard, they come out with good degrees, and they go on to get good jobs. And that's reflected in the rankings, which I'll touch on in a little while as well. But that kind of sets the scene of what the surrounding area of Lancaster is like as well. We can move it on to the next slide, please, Amy. Thank you. So in terms of our teaching and research, we're a research-led university. So to give you an indication, the government strategy when the university started just over 50 years ago, they predicted a shortage of universities at the time. So the government strategy was to create these new research-intense universities like Lancaster, like Loughborough, like Leicester, for example. So these are universities that were created just over 50 years ago, research-led universities, and that's something that we are proud of. But it's not just research that we excel in. Our research from all across so our academic teaching staff come from all over the world, and that's reflected in our teaching. So these world-leading doctors, these world-leading professors who've built us these rankings, they're active teachers as well. So if you decide to come to Lancaster as an option, you will be taught by these world-leading experts who are at the forefront in terms of their research and their teaching as well. If we can move on to the next slide, please. Thanks, Amy. So we've got 4 faculties within the university. So we've got a faculty, School of Health and Medicine, got a so obviously biomedical sciences, students wanting to do medical programs. We've got the Faculty of Science and Technology, so courses like computing sciences, engineering, for example. The largest faculty is the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, so courses like law, linguistics, English language, for example. And maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think the best faculty I've left it to the last, our School of Management, Lancaster Management School, that me and Amy work for. I think that's the best faculty. That's a quadruple accredited management school, and something that we're really proud to be associated with. Like I said, maybe a little bit biased, but it's a fact we are the best faculty in the university, I think. If we can move it on to the next one, please, Amy. Great, thank you. So this image, I thought it's quite relevant. We've had a lot of investment within the university over the last few years. I think since 2013, we've had about £220 million worth of investment. And this is one of the latest investments that's just opened up, even despite of COVID, it opened up this year. This is the management school. So if you decide to come to Lancaster as part of the degree option, this is where you'll be based. So a state-of-the-art management school to reflect the quality and the rankings of the university and the management school. So lecture theatres, teaching spaces, etc. Let's say very much state-of-the-art. And I was quite privileged that I was able to give a couple of presentations at our recent open day, and some of the lecture theatres inside there are absolutely amazing. Certainly high-tech, state-of-the-art. Thanks, Amy. So the management school, like I said, a quadruple accredited management school, and you can see the accreditations at the bottom of the slide there. You know, what does this mean really? It's you know, it's a mark of quality. When you know that that a particular product, a particular service has been awarded some sort of quality, then that shows that it is something that is at the forefront in terms of the services, the product that they're offering. Many universities have maybe one of the accreditations, they may have 2 of the accreditations. I've come across a handful of universities who've got a triple accredited management school, but you know, we've gone a little bit above and beyond that. We're a quadruple accredited world ranked management school, and that's reflected in our international outlook, the partners that we've got like HSC, for example, and the help and support that we provide our students. So in terms of the accreditations, you know, professional bodies, etc., all help and support the accreditations that we've got. These accreditations are reviewed on a regular basis, and if we don't meet up to the standards, the accreditation gets taken away from the university. It's as simple as that. So it's something that we are really proud of. Yeah, next slide, please, Amy. Great, thank you. So I talked about professional recognition in terms of our accreditations. So you probably recognise some of these. So like the ACCA, for example, in terms of accounting and finance, CIM in terms of marketing, CIPD in terms of human resources. So these are management school programs that have got professional recognition and accreditation in that respect. Yeah. So I think, again, just reinforcing what we're saying, because we've got the professional recognition, it is another mark of quality in respect to our particular programs, and that you will have access to as well. Next slide. So, okay, so we'd like to think we truly are an international university, and again, I'll touch on this in a little moment with the alumni, etc. But we've truly got on campus, we've got an international community, and with COVID, it's been quite difficult because everybody's been teaching and learning online, but now we're back on campus. We can clearly see the students, the international students coming through. So as a university, last year we were awarded we were named the International University of the Year by the Times and the Sunday Times Good University Guide. So something that we're really proud of. 72% of the LUMS master's students were from overseas or are from overseas for this year, and we've got alumni in over 160 countries, truly reflecting the international outlook and the international community that we've got. All our master's students currently have the option to do the study abroad option at the end of their master's degree program. And for students from HSC, if you decide to come to Lancaster University, you will very much be entitled to this particular package as well. And the advantages of that is it gives you the opportunity to study in the UK, as well as maybe go to Canada, for example, maybe go to New Zealand, other partners within Europe. So again, these are opportunities because in terms of employability, this is what employers are looking for, the global opportunities and experience that the graduates can bring to their organisation. Cheers, thank you, Amy. So in terms of our careers, you know, all our programs are embedded in terms of help and support with regards to careers. And you can see there a quote from the editor of the Times in 2019. Basically, it's just reinforcing that the university and the careers opportunities that we offer for our students. So in terms of our career service, I think the management school, like I said, with the better faculty within the university, not that I'm biased in any way, but, you know, in terms of our careers, we've got a central career service, which all the students have access to, but the management school, we've got our own particular career service as well. So there's a lot of dedicated help and support, not just at the end of your time with the university, but during your time at the university. So the careers department will have particular workshops, support, etc., available for students, and students can tap into it as little or as much as they want. So they might have things like you know, interview techniques, how to update your CV, your LinkedIn profile, how you get the best from that. So they have a lot of help and support available for students. Psychometric testing, for example, for these employers. So the ultimate goal is, what I'm trying to say is, you come out with a good qualification that hopefully gets you that job and will give you the help, advice and the tools to hopefully pass that interview and make the applications towards that. We've got dedicated postgraduate careers advisors, and more recently we've got a dedicated member of the team specifically to help and support international employers, international students as well. So part of some of the things that they organise throughout the year is we have what we call like an employment fair, where we have employers, not just local employers, but global employers, and some of the names you probably recognise there, like IBM, Microsoft, Deloitte, Ernst & Young. These are some of the companies that we deal with that come to recruit our students, and they come to employ our students. In addition to that, you can meet these employers, whereby it may well be that you've always wanted to work for Microsoft. So you meet the delegate from Microsoft, for example, they can tell you a little bit about what it's like to work for Microsoft. And at the end of that, you might turn and think, you know what, I don't think I could work for Microsoft now, but I think I could work for Deloitte maybe. So you get an opportunity to meet these employees and ask them what it's really like to work for your organization as well. It's regular drop-in clinics on different dates, different times over the academic year. Great, thanks, Amy. So I touched about the international outlook. Now, to reinforce that, some the alumni that we've got, I mentioned that we've got alumni in over 160 countries. So we've got about, 43,000 alumni based in over 160 countries worldwide. Now, their profiles they're on our on our website, so please have a look through that. And I think that the good thing is that once you're part of the university, you get dedicated help and support towards the careers for the rest of your life. So even after you've graduated, you can touch base and speak, and you've got access to the resources thereafter as well. And the alumni, you'll always be a Lancaster alumni at the end of that. And again, this goes on in terms of the networking in country and a global opportunity as well. Again, one of the things that I'm quite proud of to say is I've had an opportunity to travel a lot in terms of work. So I was with one of our alumni in Saudi Arabia, and he was the head of mergers and acquisitions at KPMG. When I met up with him, he was like, "Oh, Jamie, if you've got any students from accounting and finance who graduate and want a job in Saudi Arabia, send me their CV and they've got a job." I thought, what, really? No interview? He said, no, don't need to interview them. I studied at Lancaster many years ago. I know the standard of the graduates, so all I want is their CV, no interview, they've got a job. And I thought, well, you know what, again, that just goes to show, and this was the head of mergers at KPMG, a similar story. There was the head of HR at a company in Dubai that I met up with, and she said, look, if I get a CV from Lancaster, the guarantees an interview. Whether they get the job or not is hard, but it's the guaranteed an interview. I can guarantee you that. And again, that's saying something of the standard, of the caliber of the graduates that are coming out from Lancaster. When senior members of organisations saying, "I'll guarantee an interview," or "I'll even give them a job without an interview." So it just goes to show. But this is something that we really are proud of, and you can see there across the map, we've got alumni pretty much all over the world. Okay, thanks, Amy. Now, one of the things that we are quite proud of is the help and support that we provide our students, and this is reflected in the rankings. So the ranking is not just about being the best. Yes, it's probably a starting point, but there's different metrics, different measures, and one of them is the learning help support that we offer our students. So again, we're quite fortunate within the university, certainly within the management school as well. All our students will get help and support throughout their time within the university. Now that could be towards English help and support, you know, we all need it now and again, but it's more on the academic side. So essay writing, report writing, you know, reading, skim reading, trying to get the best note taking, things like that. So they'll give you help and advice if you're struggling in the first few weeks or a little bit later as well. There's always people there to help you. Maths and stats, I've got to be honest, it's probably not my strongest point, but again, we have colleagues within the university who help you with that. So if you've got a particular assignment or a particular essay or module that you're struggling with because of the maths content, we've got MASH support, as we call it, maths and stats help. So we've got dedicated colleagues within that who run specific workshops. They'll get you a plan put together and they'll help you throughout that. So it's not just at the start for the first few weeks, this is throughout the program. So I think that the point here is that, you know, you can have as little or as much as you want in terms of the help and support. If you're finding it difficult, we'll make sure that we can help you. Okay, next slide, please. Cheers, thank you. So I talked about the study abroad options, and this applies towards the master's students as well, students like yourselves. So we have partner universities across the globe. So this kind of just gives you an indication. So it's at the end of the master's program, you can go and study at a partner university for one extra term. So it might be Lyon Business School, it might be Católica in Lisbon, for example. Might be Laval. So these are the kind of universities. There's no cost so there's no additional cost. The tuition is paid for by the university. The only expense that you would incur is obviously your living costs, your food, your accommodation, things, or your flights, that kind of thing. But in terms of the tuition fees, that will all be taken care of by the university. So it just gives you just that little bit more international exposure. And I talked about some of the employers, the global employers. It's not just about getting the degree, it's what else you can probably bring to the interview. And you might be able to talk about your additional term abroad in China, for example, and that might just get you that job interview, and it might just get you that job as well. But more the other side of it, it's more the experience, mixing with the culture, and it just makes you more globally, internationally aware. Thank you. Okay, so in terms of accommodation, you can see from the image on the bottom there, that's just one of our accommodation blocks within the university. And, you know, we've got a range of accommodation. You've got self-catered, you've got catered accommodation. You can have a small one-bedroom accommodation. You can have a studio where you've got your kitchen, everything inside that. We've got family accommodation. So there's something there for everybody. Though you can pay as little or as much as you want. The accommodation starts from just over £100 per week. One of the things that we are quite proud of is since 2010, we've won the Best University Accommodation in the UK award 8 times. I've got 2 daughters, both of them have been through university, and I can honestly say they went to different universities, but I can honestly say there the accommodation at their university compared to Lancaster, we clearly have got a better standard of accommodation than many universities in the UK, and that's reflected in the award that we've got. It's all safe, it's all secure, it's all on campus from the image that I showed you earlier. Everything is walking distance. You know, you get Wi-Fi in there. You know, all your bills are paid for, so the heating, the lighting, everything is covered within inside the rent. So in the winter time, if you had the heating on a little bit more, you don't have to pay any more for that. Yeah, and the advantage of accommodation is if you've got an assignment or something and you want to work late in the library, you can just walk it back and you're all on campus. We've got 24-hour security on campus as well. But yeah, some of the best accommodation. If you visit the website, we've got tours of the campus and of the accommodation. You can look inside that as well. And I think you might be a little bit surprised in terms of the standard that we've got here. Thank you. Okay. And one of the things that which I find, which I try and encourage, should I say, is, you know, when you go to university, it's not just about going to your lecture theatre, going to the library, going back home, studying and going to sleep. You want to be an active student. So along like I used the global opportunities as an example, you really want to be an active student, and we do encourage that as well. So our student has got just over 175 different clubs and societies. It's probably slightly more than that now. Then this helps and supports students in terms of additional activities away from their academic studies. So if you play sports, for example, you might want to do charity work, voluntary work. You might have a particular interest. There's various, like there's the economic society. So there's so much going on. I think what I'm trying to say is there will be something there for you. There's probably going to be so much choice in terms of what you can do in your spare time, whether it be charity work, whether it be play sports. If the club or society doesn't exist, if you've got, I think you need a minimum of 10 students, you can start your club or society and the university will support you with that as well. If we can just move on to the next slide. Okay, thank you. This kind of gives you, I mean, just some examples of some of the clubs and societies, but the website will have a little bit more information. So we've got like an advertising society. We've got the business consultancy society. So these like you know, like academic societies, what like I said, we've got the economic society, but then we've got the fun stuff as well. So if you're into like yoga, for example, sports, you know, if you're into media, radio station, so you can join these clubs and societies, you know, just to make friends really. You don't have to be really good at that particular sport to join the society. It may well be that you just want to be part and parcel and to make friends, but there's something there for everybody, whether it's sports, whether it's academia, whether it's a hobby. And like I say, if the society doesn't exist, you come up with a proposal, the university will support you to get it started as well. I think you need a minimum of 10 people interested in that particular area and the university will support you. Yeah, next slide, please. Thank you. Yeah, some of the facilities that we've got on campus is, like I said, it's a self-contained campus that I showed you in the image before. Sports centre, and the sports centre has been extended not once, but it's been extended twice. So you know what, it's a really state-of-the-art. So I mean, the sports centre was built, I think it's about 6 years ago. I think it opened up 6-7 years ago, but it's had 2 extensions. The most recent one opened up this year as well. So a range of sports within inside that, gymnasium, swimming pool, etc. On campus, we've got post office, we've got supermarkets, we've got hairdressers, restaurants, dentists, doctor's surgery, a chaplaincy, pharmacy. It's like a little village, you know. You don't have to go off the campus for 12. You can stay on campus for 12 months and not go outside. It's like a little student village, but obviously there's no restrictions. You can come and go as you please, and most students will go into Lancaster the city once or twice a week, and they'll probably go a bit further afield to Manchester, London at the weekends if they want to. I was quite surprised when I started. We've actually got a cinema on campus as well. So one of the lecture theatres, it doubles up as a cinema as well, and so you can go and watch the latest movies at a slightly cheaper cost as well. So we've got pretty much everything on campus, like I say. It helps and supports the students in terms of, like I say, it's not just the academia. Yes, we've got the libraries, we've got the lecture theatres, but we want you to have a good time whilst you're a student at the university as well. Thanks, Amy. Okay, so in terms of a bit of background there on the university, and like I said, we'll be happy to take some questions towards the end of the presentation. But in terms of what it means for you in terms of the options that you have. So in terms of project management, you can go on to the MSc in project management, marketing, communications and advertising. You can go on to the advanced marketing management. We've got human resource management as an option. For students, yeah, next slide. So, apologies, that marketing option, that's my fault. I should have removed that before I started the presentation. That is no longer available. So international management, for students who are doing that, you can go on to the MSc International Business and Strategy. Students doing e-business, we've got the MSc Digital Business Innovation and Management Programme, which is very similar combined as well. And what I would say is at the end of the presentation, if you visit the website, if you've not already done so, it'll give you a lot more information on the modules you've got, the course content for the different pathways that you have got. The website is the best source of information. And like I said, dare I say, you can always email us and I'll be happy to help you as well. Next slide, please, Amy, sorry. Yeah, so this one's a bit of like a spider's web. So I think what we're trying to say is if you've got, if your qualification at HSC at this moment in time is any of the following four linked to finance, you can go into any of the three options at the bottom. So you've got the option of MSc Finance, Money Banking and Finance, and Quantitative Finance. And again, just going back to what I said a few moments ago, if you visit the website, that'll give you a lot more information in terms of the course content. So at this moment in time, you might be thinking, should I consider MSc Finance or should I consider MSc Quantitative Finance? Well, have a look at the modules and it'll give you a little bit more information. And that might help you decide which is the better option for you. And dare I say, if you're still struggling after that, just send us an email and we'll be happy to help you as much as we can. Yeah. Next slide. Cool, thanks. So if you're looking at, so if you're doing corporate finance at this moment in time, the two options that you have got is MSc in Finance and MSc in Money Banking and Finance. And for students who are doing applied economics, you've got the option of the MSc in Money Banking and Finance. Next slide. Okay, so funding and fees. So obviously, we've got an arrangement with HSC. Automatically, that will give you a 10% fee discount just because you're from HSC. In addition to that, we've got the partnership scholarship, which is £10,000, so a substantial saving in terms of a scholarship that you're being awarded. So a further £10,000 scholarship, and you may have the option, or you may be awarded a departmental scholarship. That only gets decided at the application stage. I don't get involved in that. That's part of the admissions and the application process. So on top of the 10% fee discount and £10,000 scholarship, you probably could get anything between £1,000 and £4,000 in terms of the academic excellence, but that would only get determined at the application stage. Yeah, so you can see there's a generous package just for the fact that you're from HSC and you partner with Lancaster. Yeah, next slide. So what we've done is we've tried to break it down. So we've got a couple of examples here. So we've got the courses broken into two bands. So if you're doing in the first example, MSc Digital Business Innovation or Human Resource Management, for example, the tuition fees for this year are for next year, £23,100. You get the 10% fee partnership discount, plus you get the £10,000 scholarship. So the student will actually pay from HSC £10,790. So it's less than 50% of the actual fees. In the second example, for students who are looking at doing something like Money Banking and Finance, for example, the current fee for next year is fixed at £25,360 with the 10% discount, and with the partnership scholarship, again, it comes to less than or just short of 50%. So the actual fee that you would pay would be £12,824. So you can see there it's like almost 50% of the tuition fees in that respect. Yeah, I think it is about 50%. So a substantial saving just because of the partnership and what we value with the HSC students. Next slide, please. Great, thanks. One thing I didn't mention at the start is the cost of living. Now, Lancaster, it's about 1 hour away from Manchester. I live just outside of Manchester. The cost of living in Manchester is considerably more than Lancaster. Cost of living in London, I would say in London, you'd pretty much double them figures. But the cost of living in Lancaster is relatively cheap. So campus accommodation, depending on the accommodation that you want to go for, the more facilities you want, the more you have to pay. So depending on the type, it could be between £4,800 and £5,800. For food, subsistence, we reckon between about £3,000 UK pounds for the year. For books, stationery, clothes, entertainment, eating out, etc., travel, we reckon about £2,000. Now, these are just average figures. If you're eating takeaway, eating out every night, and you're buying designer clothes every week, it's going to be a little bit more. If you're sensible, it could be even less than that. But it kind of gives you an indication of what you're likely to spend in terms of being a student. The link at the bottom there, that will probably give you a lot more information in terms of budgeting. And I think the key thing there is budgeting. If you're sensible, Lancaster is a very cheap place to live as a student, you know, but taking on board what we said earlier, we want the students to come, have a good time, enjoy themselves, and be an active student as well. So that kind of gives you an indication of the costs on an annual basis as a student. Yeah, next slide, please. Just thought I'd mention the academic year. So the academic year, we're broken down into 3 terms. Michaelmas term, which is the one we're in now, starts in October and it finishes in September. The Lent term is in the new year. So for 2023, when you'll be starting, if you come to Lancaster, is from 13th of January to the 24th of March. And the summer term, the final term, is the 21st of April to the 30th of June. Thereafter, it'll be the dissertations that will take place. So teaching stops at that point, and it's your dissertation that you'll focus on. Yeah, next slide, please. So the entry requirements. So what we're looking at is a good upper second class honours degree or equivalent. So in terms of a GPA for HSC students, we're looking at a GPA of 4 out of 5. And we need an English language proficiency test. So IELTS, we're looking at 7 with at least 6 in each element, or the equivalent in terms of the TOEFL or the Pearson's in that sense. But again, you can see that we'll be sharing this presentation with you, so it kind of gives you an idea. So if you aim for a GPA of 4 and IELTS of 7, that's what the entry requirements are in terms of starting with the university. Yeah, next slide, please. And how to apply. Okay, so HSC they'll inform us, they'll have to nominate you, so we'll get information of that. If you are nominated towards Lancaster, that's when you can start to make the applications, and you'll be looking to make the applications in March of next year. The link at the bottom there, so everything is done online. So if you are nominated, we'll be in touch with you to say, yes, you can make the application. We'll send you the details across. But what we're looking for in terms of the required documents so we can make an offer, would need your bachelor's degree transcript, your motivation, your supporting statement, and that's going to be a maximum of 2 pages. Contact details for 2 references, one of which must be an academic reference and the other one could be a personal a work reference or something of that nature. Your English language test certificate and your first semester HSC master's transcript as well. Don't worry if you haven't got, for example, your language certificate. We can give you a condition. If you take the IELTS test, for example, and you forward that, that's when we'll make it unconditional. But them are the documents that you will be looking for, so we can make you an offer with the university. Next slide, please. Great. I think that's about it from mine. So I thought what I would do is just end off with an aerial shot of the Lancaster city, because the one that I showed you right at the start was the city was right in the background. So this is it kind of gives you an indication of what the city is like. A lot of culture, a lot of character, not the high-rise glass buildings or anything like that, but you know, a very safe environment, lovely, friendly people. There's just something about the northwest of England. I think we genuinely, and I'm not just saying this, I genuinely believe we are probably the nicest people in the UK. So friendly. And I don't know why. It's just something about the northwest of England. People are generally really friendly. So that kind of gives you an idea. That's pretty much about it from my end. If we can move it to the next slide, then we're going to leave that up for a little while so you can see we've got our email address on there. So if you've got any questions at any point, just send an email, and between myself and my fantastic colleague Amy, we'll be able to help and answer any questions for you. Amy's got a wealth of knowledge. She's really so helpful. So you know what, nothing like a silly question, like I said. Any questions at any point, send us an email and we'll be happy to help. So on that note, that's about it in terms of the presentation. That leaves us just enough time to take a few questions, or you can type them on the chat, whichever you prefer. Katerina, do you have, is there anything that you would like to ask on behalf of the students maybe, or I don't think we've got anything on the chat, have we?
No, but I think that we have a question from Daria.
Yeah, I have a question. I didn't see in scholarship and founding one master's degree, advanced marketing and management, and I don't understand. Do I have an opportunity to apply for this program or not?
So the advanced, sorry, I didn't understand the first part of the question. What's your first degree in, sorry, or what are you studying at the moment with HSC?
I'm searching for a degree in advanced marketing and management, and on the slide of scholarship and founding, I didn't see this program, and this is my question.
Okay.
Is it still
Yes. So what is it you're studying at HNC? What qualification are you doing it with HSC at the moment, if you don't mind me asking?
Marketing?
Yeah. So you're doing marketing, yes. So you should be eligible for the advanced marketing management qualification, masters at Lancaster. For students who don't have a background in marketing, they probably wouldn't be eligible for the advanced marketing. So we're not saying that the other marketing option is any lesser qualification, but the advanced marketing management qualification, which is the one that you're interested in, you need to have a background or experience in marketing. And from what you're saying, you're doing marketing at HSC, so you should be eligible to apply for that. That should be fine. If you are a little bit unsure, if you pop us an email, just with your degree that you're working on, we'll reply back, and then you've got it confirmed in writing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you, but my question, I asked my question because I just didn't see on this slide of scholarship and founding on your presentation this program and the fees for this program. That's why I was afraid.
Okay, right. So yeah,
apply right now or
yeah.
not?
So no, I apologize. Not yeah. So basically, in terms of the scholarship and funding, I've just given a few examples. That's all. But that would fall. I think that falls into example one in terms of the fees. The fact that I've not listed every single course there, I've just given a couple of examples. That's all. But no, it will apply. So that's not a problem. Yeah. I think the fees will be example one for advanced marketing management. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood the question. Apologies for that. Anything else? Any other questions? Always goes quiet at this time.
Maybe I could ask one more question.
You can ask as many as you want. Absolutely fine.
I would like to know if you know a date when we will need to present our dissertation in summer, or approximately some dates, because I would like to know when I could come back to my home country.
Okay, right. So, just so I understand the question correctly, are you asking about when you'll be doing your dissertation at Lancaster? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you can remember the slide with the term dates on there. So we have the Michaelmas, Lent, and summer term. The summer term it finishes in June, at the end of June. So that's after that will be a dissertation. So there's no more teaching. So from July up until September, that's when students will be doing their dissertation. Students will start maybe planning their dissertation before June, but teaching will stop. So it'll be over that period from July to September, end of September. That's when the dissertation time will take place.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And then we have another raised hand. Naga Runya. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but please ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, this is Nagarjuna. Actually, I'm doing the Masters in Financial Analyst program in HSC. I want to go into the quantitative finance program, but can I eligible for that? Can I do directly to the quantitative or else any selection criteria for that? Because it's yeah. Right now I'm doing in the CFA related track. I'm in the CFA related track right now. So I want to go into the quantitative finance track in university. Is it possible?
Okay, apologies. What course are you doing at the moment?
Masters in Financial Analyst.
Financial Analytics, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the finance, just going through the presentation, the options that you've got is you can do the MSc in finance, MSc in money banking and finance, and MSc in quantitative finance. So them are the three options that you would have.
Yeah, three options I have, but I mean, which base you people are, I mean, selecting for the these things? I mean, these program, these candidates. Yeah.
Okay, so basically what would happen is in terms of the application, what we would need is we look for the GPA, so that would be one of the factors that we'd consider, a supporting statement, and the references. So we look at pretty much everything, and my colleagues in admissions, they would look at your marks as well. So you might have the overall GPA, but if in certain modules which are key modules, you may not have performed too well. It doesn't automatically guarantee you an offer if you've got a GPA of 4. So they would look at the modules and they do all that exercise. So what I would say is try and achieve the best you possibly can. A minimum GPA of 4, your reference, your supporting statement, and the IELTS or the equivalent of 7. That's what we'd be looking for. If we get all them documents, that's when we'll make your offer unconditional, and that's when we'll be able to start with the university. So sorry.
Yeah, okay. Understood.
Is that okay? Yeah. And so to give you an example, let's say you met all the academic requirements, you got the GPA, you came from the right background, the supporting statement, everything was fine, but you didn't submit your IELTS test and you didn't take an IELTS test and you didn't have the English language, you might not be able to start because you probably wouldn't get a visa, for example, and that is one of the conditions that you need to have the IELTS. So it's not just the academic side, it's everything that we would need. So all the essential documents that were listed, you will need to provide. The good thing is when you're applying for the university, everything is done online. So if you don't provide an essential document, it won't allow you to submit the application. So, for example, the English language certificate is not an essential part of the documents. We do need that, but that can be provided later. But the supporting statement, for example, without that, it won't let you submit the application, if that makes sense, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you. Understood. Yeah.
Guys, any more questions?
Yes, Jamie, hello. Thank you very much for the presentation. Very good. And just one question at the moment. I'm at HSC. I'm studying at the program Strategic Management and Consulting. And what's the program in Lancaster for that will suit for me personally? Will be also management or the strategic management or something?
Okay, just trying to have a look through here. trying to think. I can't see that. Rather than me trying to guess that, can you do me a little favor? Can you pop an email to the address here? That will remind me, and I'll reply back to you straight away. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to guess, but I think that you'll have more than the management option. I think you'll have a few options available, but I don't want to just guess and say something wrong. Let me just double check that and send it back to you via email. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that we are, for the students of the Graduate School of Business, on our website of the International Office website, we do have a web page dedicated to dual degree programs, and we have a page dedicated to dual degree program with Lancaster specifically. So you can go there and also check all the requirements. We update them annually as soon as we receive any news from Lancaster. And so there you will be able to find a match for your academic program. Yeah, I'm just looking for it right now, but my internet isn't great either, so.
I think it should be management, because I already checked it at the HSE website. Oh, okay. So I just wanted to know if anything changed, or just, yeah, then I'm okay.
Well, send me an email. I suspect the information that you've been provided is probably correct anyway, but if you send us an email, we can just double check it.
Yes, okay.
Back. Yeah,
agreed.
But
Thank you.
like Katerina said, I suspect that's going to be correct. Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. You know what? Hopefully you found some of the things that we talked about quite useful. But I go back to what I said right at the start. This has probably generated more questions now and probably caused more confusion. But I think the thing is, you've got our details. You've met me, and I would like to think I'd like to help people out. So if you've got any questions, please address it to myself and Amy via email, and we'll be more than happy to help. If we don't have the answer, we'll go and find out for you, but we will get back to you. I think the point is, we just want to make sure that we help the students make the right decision. And if that decision is to come to Lancaster, great. If at the end of it, you decide Lancaster isn't for you, absolutely fine. Our job isn't to persuade you to come. We just want to make sure you make the right decision wherever you decide to go. Hopefully that'll be Lancaster, but who knows? Yeah, great. Ekaterina, thank you so much.
We just received one more question in the chat box. So
okay, that's
yeah.
fine.
It's which course will be offered to students of Masters in Business Analytics and Big Data System?
Have you got that information on your website?
Yeah. I just managed to open it. So I can see that it's Masters in Business Analytics.
Okay. Right. Anything else?
Yeah. Could I
go on?
One question? How many people can enroll for each program?
Oh, right. Okay. I've not been asked that one for a long time. You know what? We don't really have a cap as such. So we don't have a deadline or anything like that. But my advice is if you are interested in studying a particular program at the university, is to apply sooner rather than later, because once we've made or once admissions have made enough offers and students have started to accept, they will say, that's it now, we're not taking any more applications. Hopefully that won't apply to HSC students, because you'll be applying by March, so hopefully that won't apply. But to give you an indication, the master's programs, the course cohort, depending on the pathway, it could be between 30 to 50 students maximum, something like that. So we're not talking large numbers. Our undergraduate, some of our undergraduate courses, they've probably got 200 or 300 students on that particular pathway for that year. Master students, it's a lot smaller number. So I would say it's about between 30 and 70 students, depending on the pathway.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Great.
I would like to add, just one last thing that I would like to add that later, I guess in December or probably in the beginning of the next semester, we'll be sending information to the students of the Graduate School of Business with the internal deadline, because as Jamie mentioned earlier, that first you will have to apply to us because we need to nominate you. And in order to do that, we need to have a selection process to see that you actually fit the requirements of Lancaster University and that we can actually nominate you. So the deadline will be sometime in February, I guess, so you will have enough time to apply to Lancaster. But we will be informing you about that sometime really soon. And also, please do check our website for any updates. Be proactive and ask us questions if you doubt anything, and feel free to write to Jamie and Amy and our dear colleagues from Lancaster as well.
No, thank you. Just to reinforce what Ekaterina's just said there, you know what, ignore our deadline. So ignore the deadline that I gave for March, stick to the internal deadline, because, and I'm not just saying this for one moment that the places will be filled by March, but you know, if you miss the deadline, it may cause even more complications. So forget our Lancaster deadline, stick to the internal deadline with HSC, which is probably a few weeks before that. I think that's very good advice, Ekaterina.
Okay. I guess that would be it for me. Thank you, Jamie. That was very interesting. And I would like to thank our students who joined our today. We will also send the recording of today's meeting to those who weren't able to join us. Well, thank you again, Jamie.
No,
and thank
you,
so Amy, for helping out.
Great. Thank you, Amy. I know you've not been 100%, but thank you so much. Have a lovely
Thanks,
evening, everybody,
guys.
and look forward to hearing from you guys soon with any questions that you have. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.